Invite the Honorable Mshomba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My sincere apologies. I was held up in the constituency with farmers. I stand to move a motion that, aware that Article 43(1)(a) of the Constitution provides for the right of every person to access the highest attainable standard of health. Further, aware that poor quality of health services, especially maternity care, has been a recurring concern among the women in the country, noting that there is an increased pre- and postpartum mistreatment and dehumanized care of women by healthcare providers, also known as obstetric violence or OBV. Further noting that obstetric violence includes, but not limited to, disrespectful and abusive behavior, physical and verbal abuse, neglect, forced medical procedures, humiliation, and assault in healthcare settings, concerned that sustained class-based disparities shape different maternal and infant health outcomes with women of low socioeconomic status, mostly experiencing greater levels of obstetric violence, and further concerned that this is not only affecting women's physical and mental health, but also impact on the overall health outcomes of mothers and their newborns, significantly contributing to higher maternal mortality rates, cognizant to the fact that there exists no national policy or framework to address and prevent obstetric violence. Now, therefore, this House resolves that the national government, through the Ministry of Health, develops a policy on prevention of obstetric violence in healthcare facilities in the country and provides a framework for regular monitoring and reporting of the cases to curb incidences of pre- and postpartum mistreatment of women seeking health in health services. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mshomba. We go back to order number 7, Mwafrika. Member for Roysambu.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make a statement and to say that it is a sad moment for the people of Roysambu due to an accident which occurred at Maungu. Mr. Speaker, that accident caused a death of 7 students of Kenyatta University. They were on an education tour to the Department of Health Management and Informatics. And Mr. Speaker, we have several students who are injured. 42 of them have been admitted at Moi Rivaro Hospital in Voi. 7 were airlifted to Avenue Hospital here in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to take this opportunity to convey my heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family of these students.
Give the mic to Honorable Mudhoni.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I also wish to join the MP Roysambu in mourning the death of the students of Kenyatta University. Honorable Speaker, it is very sad that we continue losing young brainy minds in our roads. Honorable Speaker, I want to say, as I convey my sincere condolences to the Kenyatta University fraternity and to the parents who are very expectant, Honorable Speaker, that their children are going through schools and they'll come back to their villages and be of value and use in the communities. Honorable Speaker, I wish to implore upon the government, Honorable Speaker, to take measures, because every other day we are hearing of school buses having accidents. Prior to that, Kapsabet boys had an accident where they lost a teacher and a student. Honorable Speaker, it is the high time that the government puts in measures that can be able to mitigate this so that we stop loss of young people, Honorable Speaker, in our roads. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I too join the family of Kenyatta University in mourning their loved ones and wishing those who are injured very speedy recovery. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Mudhoni. Yes, Honorable Member. Notary Ndikiri, the member for Igembe North.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes,
Speaker, for the opportunity.
Julius.
I want also to join my colleague, Mwafrika, in condoling the families of the bereaved, and also to extend my sincere sympathies to those who are recuperating in various hospitals. It is sad, actually, to lose very young souls, very illustrious future leaders of this country through tragic road accidents that we have seen taking place in the recent near future. I do also appeal to the Ministry of Health or the ministry concerned to take up the bills so that these families cannot suffer grievous loss that were not intended. I rest my case, Honorable Speaker.
Ndikiri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It is a sad day for Kenyatta University students, the parents, and the nation at large. Mr. Speaker, for the last couple of days, the country has witnessed a lot of accidents on our lawns. Mr. Speaker, it is happening during when we thought the government would be very keen, particularly the Ministry of Transport, which is in charge of the transport in this country, to have taken serious initiatives to address the main causes of accident in this country. In almost all corners of this republic, you see Busia, Meru, Mombasa, everywhere, there is a fatal accident happening. And there seems to be no serious response from the ministry concerned. Mr. Speaker, I think time has come that the ministry and the government revisit the way the transporters, either passenger or cargo or whatever, is being managed by all of us. Mr. Speaker, the accidents are happening as a result of carelessness. It's happening as a result of the way the roads have been designed. It's happening as a result of lack of proper mechanical standards of vehicles in this country. Particularly, Mr. Speaker, the passenger vehicles in this country. Mr. Speaker, there was a time we used to have road control checkpoints. Mr. Speaker, that seems to have disappeared. Mr. Speaker, we never used to hear, the government had put measures to strictly prohibit trucks traveling at night. Mr. Speaker, there was a time we used to have check limits and even roadblocks. Mr. Speaker, I think the carelessness in terms of our drivers is evident. Mr. Speaker, drivers traveling for long distances. Mr. Speaker, these are matters that the Ministry of Transport have failed to address in conjunction to all the stakeholders. Mr. Speaker, the casualties more are the school children. All the buses in this country, Mr. Speaker, they don't meet the international standards of passenger vehicle standards by all means. And I think we need to ask the ministry to be conscious of this and start taking this matter very seriously. We really sympathize. We really express our condolences to the family of the dead and also those who passed on. May God bless their soul in eternal peace. Thank you.
Maungu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity given to me to stand with our students who perished at Kenyatta University. Just as the honorable members put it clear, Mr. Speaker, it is indeed very sad for this country when we as a nation lose young lives, especially our youth, whom we depend on for today and tomorrow, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in the last 1 week, we had 2 institutions having their buses involved in road accidents. That was a school in Kapsabet, and a few days after, we had the KU bus that was involved in an accident, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
But what was even painful, Mr. Speaker, was to see social media aflash with photos and pictures of students caught up between the wreck, Mr. Speaker, even before the parents could even know of the same. So what I want to say, Mr. Speaker, is that it's high time that we relooked into the safety of school transport, be it is in secondary schools or in universities or other colleges, Mr. Speaker. It's high time that we as a country relooked at the safety of students who use these modes of transport, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's high time that we even went further to look at the public transport sector, because our drivers need to be extra careful, especially when carrying these young souls or when ferrying them from one end to the other, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, as I stand with my people, I want to convey our condolences on behalf of myself and the people of Rwanda to the affected families and call upon the government to come in handy and maybe support these families, Mr. Speaker, either by meeting the costs, the medical costs of all those who are currently in hospitals, as well as last expenditure for those whose lives were lost, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Daud. Give Honorable Daud the mic.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first is condolences to the 11 families who lost their loved ones in the bus, and quick recovery to the ones who are in hospital. Mr. Speaker, like my colleague has said, Honorable Rindikiri, the issue with buses, the construction of buses in Kenya is on a wrong chassis. We were with NTSA 2 weeks back, and they said the buses which are made in this country do not follow the right guidelines, and they are made of the lorry chassis, which should not be the case. So that what is there, the envelope, there is no envelope protecting any passenger in those vehicles. And this is a wake-up call for the Ministry of Transport, because they need now to step their authority and get accidents to reduce. But Mr. Speaker, last week we had inter-county schools games in Meru, and the buses, one bus from Kitui nearly went into Nidhi Bridge, but luckily the driver crossed the road and went and hit the hill, so that he did not go into the Nidhi Bridge. So, Mr. Speaker, we need now to be more vigilant of how our trucks are, buses and trucks are driven, as well as NTSA has to come in. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. We'll end there. May the good Lord rest their souls in eternal peace. And the majority leader try and embrace the Minister of Education to have buses transporting our children to be properly serviced and be driven carefully. Allow me to acknowledge Narumoru girls from Kieni in the Speaker's Gallery. Kieni is in Nyeri County. Mugumo girls from Gishugu in Kirinyaga. Gadriga Junior Secondary School from Kipipiri, Nyandarua. On behalf of myself and the House, We welcome all the students and their teachers to the House of Parliament. Yes, Wandai.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I'm raising on a point of order, understanding order 142. This basically concerning concurrence of the other house in terms of processing of bills.
Concerning?
The concurrence of both houses.
Yes.
In terms of processing of bills.
Can you do that when I finish the statements?
Okay.
I still have some statements. Joshua Kandie, member for Baringo Central.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to Standing Order 44-2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education regarding the delayed salaries and understaffing of non-teaching personnel in special needs schools. Honorable Speaker, special needs schools play an indispensable role in our society, catering to the unique requirement of students with diverse learning abilities and disabilities. Additionally, it is evident that non-teaching staff, often referred to as support staff, play a vital role in fostering conducive teaching and learning environment within schools. Support staff encompasses a wide range of roles, including administrative personnel, transcribers, physiotherapists, teachers, aides, cooks, cleaners, and drivers. Honorable Speaker, support staff in special needs schools play a crucial role, often extending beyond the confines of traditional teaching responsibilities. However, schools continue to face challenges such as delayed payment of support staff salaries and inadequate staffing levels, which has adversely impacted the smooth operation of the schools. Honorable Speaker, it is against this backdrop that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education on the following. What measures has the Ministry of Education put in place to ensure increased budget allocations to meet the needs of special needs schools and timely payment of support staff, particularly in Cabernet School for the deaf blind children in Baringo Central? Number 2, what initiatives have been rolled out to support staff in schools catering to students with disabilities? 3, what does the ministry intend to support staff in affected special schools, given the crucial role of support staff in fostering effective learning environment for students with disabilities? I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Education Committee. Honorable Mel is not here. Any member? Yes, Julius.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Bring a statement in 2 weeks. Bring an answer to the statement in 2 weeks.
Yes, we will.
Next, Owen Bayer, member for Kilifi North.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, in my capacity as member of Kilifi North. Honorable Speaker, I want to request a statement regarding the withholding of academic certificates by school heads in both public primary and secondary schools. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 44-2C, I rise to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Education regarding the withholding of academic certificates by principals in both public primary and secondary schools in the country. Honorable Speaker, most primary schools and secondary schools in Kenya have withheld the release of examination certificates because of students' failure to pay school fees and other dues, thus transforming the legal character of the certificate from documentary evidence of an individual's academic performance to a debt instrument. Honorable Speaker, Article 53(1)(b) entitles every child to the right to free and compulsory basic education, while Article 55A of the Constitution obligates the state to take necessary measures, including affirmative action programs, to ensure access of relevant education and training by the youth. To this end, the Kenya National Examination Council was established to conduct examinations and award certificates to learners upon completion of every level, particularly for primary and secondary education. Additionally, Section 10(1)(b) of the Kenya National Examination Council's Act 2012 prohibits any institution or person from withholding Kenya National Examination certificates or diploma from any candidate. Further, the Ministry of Education issued directives and guidelines requiring schools to promptly release academic certificates to students irrespective of any fees arrears. Honorable Speaker, most students who are indebted to schools are from poor and disadvantaged backgrounds because their parents are unable to raise school fees, and withholding their examination certificate is equivalent to killing their future careers, prospects, and dreams. Honorable Speaker, it is sad that implementation of the laws, directives, and guidelines has been wanting over the years, depriving learners of rightful access to their academic certificates, thereby impeding their path to academic advancement. Honorable Speaker, that withholding of examination certificates by school heads amounts to abuse of power and lack of integrity. It goes without saying that education is the greatest equalizer in today's society. Therefore, examination certificates should be released to examinees so as to allow them to join TVETs, colleges, and universities to enable them pursue higher learning and better their lives. Honorable Speaker, it is against this background that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee of Education on the following. 1. Could the chairperson conduct an inquiry into the withholding of academic certificates by various school heads in the country, contrary to Section 10(1)(b) of the Kenya National Examination Council Act 2012, and provide a report to the House, including recommendations for direct access to academic certificates by students? 2. Could the chairperson provide a report on the number of examination certificates being withheld